Well, hello there again, everybody. TrekWorks here with you. We're back to work on the NX-01 today, and you can see I've got these nacelles all set up. What I've been doing is applying a little bit of filler putty on the seams on the top and the bottom, and I thought I'd show you what I've been doing with that. You can see in the picture here that I've got some masking tape applied on the top side and the bottom side there on this one on the right, and I do that so I can keep my filler putty kind of located in a nice small area just on the seam itself, and I don't wind up smearing it all over the rest of the part to try to keep it clean. And then when I go back to do my sanding later, it reduces a lot of that time. You can see here on this one on the left, I'll zoom in on it for you, that I've pulled the tape now, and I'll be just using some fine sandpaper to sand that down nice and smooth. And we'll do that on the top of the bottom, and then we'll come back with our airbrush and just mask off that area around it and lightly touch up those seams and get that all looking nice. So after that, we're going to be going over here and doing the work on getting the pylons put together and the impulse deck all assembled. I've got to put the nacelles onto the pylons and then run the wiring down through that and get it inside and out through the front there where it connects to the saucer part of the ship. So we've got a little bit of a project on our hands today. I'll be working on that. I'll come back in just a little bit and show you a little bit of update on how things are going. See you then. Okay, well look at that, everybody. I've got some action going on here. I've got the pylons mounted onto the nacelles now, and we've made sure that they're nice and straight, and everything's kind of taped together. It looks kind of horrible right now, but it's all taped together to make sure all the seams stay nice and tight. I'll get you a little closer view here so you can see how the what I did there with the wiring harness on both sides. You can see that I cut a little notch in the top and the bottom of the pylons, and the wiring harness comes out now through, and it goes over top of this little bracket that mounts the pylon to the upper piece there. And then I've got the wiring running out the front, which will go to the saucer. And over here we have the same thing. Now you can see I've got some magnet wire in there, and I've got the wire harness for the Monsters in Motion kit. Our magnet wire is lighting our Bussard, actually our flux chiller grills, and our little navigation beacon lights there at the back, and the rest of the wiring harness is for the Monsters in Motion kit. So I wanted to show you how this all looks before we put it in. There's just enough slack in the Monsters in Motion harness here that we'll be able to connect this together, and this will fit inside the saucer. And again, here's the bottom piece, which will go on now. I've got to seal this all up, and that's going to give us our wiring for the all the little beacon lights and the crystal and everything here, and also our impulse engines. So what I'll do right now is I'll seal that down on top of that and get that all taped up and nice and tight, and I'll come back and show you a final shot of that. Alright guys, well here's an updated look at the model, and you can see that we have the whole assembly pretty much done here now. There's a couple little small detail parts here and there that need to go on it. The manifolds on the nacelles, there's a few detail parts here on the back behind the impulse deck here that needs to be put on, and then the grills at the back for the impulse engines, and that's one of the last things that I'll do. But everything is pretty well nailed down. You can see here that our seams are looking really good. We didn't have any major seam issues at all on this. You just have to really take your time. I think people that get frustrated on this model are maybe trying to do it a little too fast or something, and you just need to take your time and clamp everything down together really nice and smooth, and make sure that when you set it up before everything totally cures, that your seams are clamped together as best as you possibly can. And one of the things that I did too is I really spent a lot of time making sure that these nacelles were nice and straight, and you can see in this picture here that they are perfectly aligned from side to side. I've seen other builds where there was some drooping going on there, and I think it's really important because before that totally sets up, you want to make sure that's right, and then once you get it right, you want to put some blocks or something under it to make sure that it doesn't move while it dries. The little mounting pegs where the nacelles mount onto the pylons are really a poor design. They're not very good, and there's not much holding it there, so if you had to break it loose again after it totally dried, you might be in a little bit of trouble. So maybe put in a little extra time on that, making sure they're nice and straight. But again, challenging model, but a lot of fun. I really like this kit. I think it's going to look superb when it's all done. I can't wait to get started on all the detail painting and things like that, but we've got a ways to go before we get to that. What we'll be doing on the next video now, as you can see, I've got all my wiring extended out through here. I'm going to let this cure up good for a good probably overnight, and then in the next day or two I'll be back, and I'll be working on the saucer. We're going to be putting in our internal lighting on that using some LED tape. We've got some beacon marker lights to mount inside there, and figure out our lighting for the deflector dish and a couple other things. So we'll have a little bit of work, but the major part of this model is this rear assembly here. That's the most challenging part. And I think we're looking pretty good on that, so things should be picking up the pace a little bit here and getting a little bit faster as we go. So anyway, we'll be back with that video in a couple days over on the Sci-Fi Model Action channel. I'm working on the Mobius Silent Centurion kit, having a lot of fun with it too. We'll have an update on that one real soon. And if you guys haven't checked it out, stop by the Sci-Fi Model Action forums. We've got a brand new look going on over there. A lot of exciting builds going on. Put the link up for you here. And hope you guys will stop by and check it out if you haven't been there already. It's a lot of fun. We're building a lot of kits, talking models. We've got a group build going on right now that just started today, which is the Polar Lights 1/1000 scale Klingon battle cruiser, and we're having a lot of fun with that. So alright, that's going to do it this time, guys. I'll catch up with you a little later, and stay safe out there, and happy modeling, everybody. We'll see you later.